Well, hello, dear fintech enthusiasts, and happy Friday, or as the English say, the Poets' Day, meaning peace off early. Tomorrow is Saturday. Uh, how are you celebrating Poets' Day, Sarah?
Well, in Sweden, it's actually another kind of day today, and it's called the Rock the Socks Day,
Ooh.
celebrating all the differences in between people. So today, everyone, adults and children alike, are wearing two different socks. And yes,
Cool.
I'm also wearing two different socks.
Ah, nice, nice. Rock the Socks Day.
Hmm.
Wow. Every day you learn something new. Hey, so nice to have you. Episode 3. We're talking open banking today. We're talking ERP today. Super exciting. I'm finding these topics kind of coming. I cross these topics almost daily nowadays, and looks like a super exciting field, and really and I want to as a first kind of ask, you've been a part of the open banking scene, I guess from the very beginning, so take us back just briefly to the beginning, and what's happened in the decade between, let's say, 2015 2025, more or less, but yeah, what was the beginning like, and what has changed?
Oh, beginning, it's actually 9 years and 51 weeks since we, for the first time, got the challenge in our hands to build open banking. So it's about 10 years ago since I heard about open banking and PSD2. With PSD, the first PSD, I've been working actively since 2011 and commercializing that throughout my stay in Frankfurt. But open banking back then was visionary, revolutionary, frightening from the banking perspective, exciting as well as you looked at the different opportunities, because it was like a two-folded sword, you could say. It was terrifying because it was change, and change, if you're in a good situation, is always scary because then you're fearing that it will affect you negatively. But it's also an opportunity if you choose to see the opportunities and act on the opportunities. So I think back then there was a picture about what would have happened until 2025. What would the threats be? What would opportunities be? And if I should give my results summary on what has happened now 10 years later to the fears that we had back then, or to the situations that we saw would arise back then, it's a greater impact than expected. And open banking has been moving into new verticals, into new spaces that no one expected it to move into back then.
Yes, and it really, I mean, obviously, I'm partial to talk about open banking since I'm very much involved with fintech, but still, as someone not 100% focused on open banking, it felt like, let's say, like 2 years ago, that hang on, I mean, this was perhaps a little bit of a disappointment. What happened here? I mean, so much talk, and now nobody's really talking about it. But today, I feel a very, very different sentiment, and actually a lot of excitement, and really the feeling that now it's taking off, and suddenly everybody wants to join the party, right? And
I've seen the similar change, and I love the description that the Gartner hype cycle is offering, because in the beginning you have the huge hype, and then there is a drawdown because everything that you believed would happen never happened, and then you're back to what can you actually do with it. not all the dreams and the visions and, oh, we're going to be able to do this, but actually what can we do today? What is possible today? And if you looked back to 2019 with any kind of product, regardless of what product it is, and I'm enjoying to take the iPhone as the example in this, because the first iPhone, the version 1, it wasn't really exciting. It wasn't an amazing product. All the competitors were laughing about it and how bad it was. BlackBerry saying, oh, that's not even competition. It doesn't have a keyboard. And then you look a few years ahead from the first iPhone into what we have in our hands now. What is it now? I'm losing tracks. 15, 16, 17 even? 18? I don't know, somewhere there.
16 at least 16.
And then you have a completely different functionality. So the product version 15 or 16 is a completely different product than what you had in the product 1. And same goes for the APIs and open banking. The first version that we got from the bank's APIs, that wasn't a really exciting product. But 5 years later, the banks have been continuously evolving the APIs and been building on the APIs, meaning we've been able to move that dialogue further and to create new products that wasn't possible 5 years ago.
Precisely. But hey, we haven't even introduced ourselves, so let me just quickly say I'm Ola Sundell. My dearest project is the Nordic Fintech Summit. That's the focus, and this is sort of a run-up, and the series is also a 10-year Nordic Fintech anniversary kind of celebration initiative, Fintech Strategy Talks. But I'm sure this will continue beyond this year, but really celebrating that. And the main place for the celebration, obviously, Nordic Fintech Summit, 15th of May in Helsinki. And Sarah Häger, Chief Commercial Officer at Enable Banking. I think perhaps say a few words, Enable Banking, and then let's dive into today's topic.
Two words about myself. Ex-banker, after 15 years in corporate banking and in product management, in sales, in support, decided to move to the fintech side instead, because I saw the great opportunities. And I had so many cases that I wanted to bring out to the markets, and a lot of them are now also live. Enable Banking is a player operating in the open banking space. We are enabling our customers to build new and exciting products on top of our API, either to get access to transactions data, account statements in one way, or to get access to payment initiations.
Great.
And I often get the question, why is that actually exciting? Why is it exciting to have an API with transactions data? Transactions data is not that fancy, is it? But if you look to what you've had previously, if you look to what the formats have been so far, it's like bringing the data that you want from a paper that you're supposed to work with and then create products on top of, meaning you would need to copy paste data or to write it digitally, the data, or to have a PDF in your hand. How can you work with the data in a PDF? It's a tough format to work with. Or will you be able to get the data from the beginning into example an Excel, where you actually can create models around it, where you can combine the data in the Excel model with additional data from outside? A much easier topic. So it makes the API exciting because it's fairly easy to integrate to it and to build new and exciting products that the market hasn't seen yet.
Brilliant. And moving on to today's topic. So what is your open banking strategy for ERPs? You have a few slides, and let's bring them on.
Thank you. So looking back to the banking experience that I have again, and now with the data becoming available, it's also turning or making it possible for companies outside of banks to build new products that can delight the customers and to help them in different processes, to support them in their commercial initiatives, or to reduce risks when they operate and cooperate with their customers. So if we look into today's topic, I'm going to speak about what is actually possible today for an ERP to do when they have access to open banking. So with the previous talks that I've had in several different settings, if I had a bank, what would I do with open banking? We're moving that into the ERP scene to see if I had my own ERP system, what would I do with open banking? What would I take advantage of with open banking? How would I use it, and how could I delight my customers by using it? First, a quick touch point on enable banking. We are a data aggregation platform for companies who are looking for growth. And you could say that we are, in one sense, the NVIDIA for your processes. We're completely invisible, but we're enabling a very powerful process. And when we do this, we do it in the FedEx way, meaning we're never touching the end customer's data, regardless of if it's on the payment side or if it's on the account transaction data side. We are fetching the package by the bank, and then we're sending it into the application of choice of the customer. And currently in 29 countries on the data side, transaction side, and in 12 countries on the payment side. And open banking has been used in several different ways on the ERP, invoicing, bookkeeping, accounting, treasury, also in loyalty, in credit decisions, and in different risk scorings. And we bring the data into all of these different customer products where our partners are building the solutions. So these are the different kind of solutions that you can build on top of open banking access. And the exciting part that I spoke a bit about before with the PDF, etc., is that the bank's models have been changing. In the beginning, we only had the branch banking. You needed to go to the bank physically to do your errands. When we moved from into the 2000s, we got web banking as the internet came along. With the iPhone, we got mobile banking, good mobile banking. And now in the 2020s, we have the API banking. And API banking is in the story with ERPs. It's making it possible for ERPs to offer traditional banking products. It's making it possible for them to serve their existing clients with a wider portfolio of solutions. And why should a customer then share data? About 10 years ago, we had a discussion in the financial industry around big techs. They were the biggest threat. How will the big techs get access to data? Should we be sharing our location data? Because that's something very, very personal, something private. And there was a huge fear. And people were speaking about we need to protect our privacy. We shouldn't give access to our location. But then look to where we stand today. We're not speaking about should we share our data. We're speaking about I need a Uber. I need to go to that place. I need to go to the airport. I'll order a Uber. Where's the closest pharmacy? I want sushi today. Where is the closest good sushi restaurant? We're speaking about the value that the data is providing us. We're not speaking about sharing the data. And a similar shift that I've seen already on the Google Maps data side, on the location data side, is what I'm also seeing is moving on the transaction data side, meaning that people are becoming more and more mature and more comfortable in sharing not only their location data because of the value they get, but they're sharing the transaction data because the value they get from the products. So bring that mindset, or keep that mindset with you in the coming, because if I would show you the demo that we have, where you're able to fetch your own transaction data, just to make it lively, then you would ask yourself, why should I give access to my data? Because in that first step, you would only see, you choose your bank, you identify yourself, and you would then get the transaction data in a list. But why should you do it? It's not answering the why you should do it. It's just visualizing how you can do it. But there's no real value more than that you can try it and test it. But if you look into another full customer experience, something that we're doing with Scandinavian Airlines, then suddenly we're not saying share your data. We're helping the customer to find the perfect card and to get the answer to what's actually in it for me. Why? Why should I become a SAS card customer? Why should I use this credit card? And when I connect my bank accounts into this area, then I get the direct answer. Sarah, if you'd be a customer with Scandinavian Airlines and you're a bonus, then you'd be able to go 3 people in first class to Miami with the current spend that you have on your cards as of today. That's what you're missing out on. So answering what is actually the value for me is an extremely powerful situation and a solution, and something that is making it possible to actually delight customers with something so simple as transaction data. So open banking is, you could say, a puzzle piece of infrastructure in that sense, that is enabling a lot of different embedded finance products. And the different products are now possible to bring into the ERP and into the different companies providing ERP services. So you can say you utilize the puzzle piece of open banking to innovate by combination, by combining different data sources and combining existing and non-existing, or by combining existing sources of data and taking existing products, enhancing it with open banking to create an even better experience. So what is then actually possible? What is something that we can delight our customers with? How can an ERP delight their customer? They can delight their customers by helping them with account verifications, something that is relevant today before the verification of payee is coming, but also afterwards, because it can help them to make sure that they are paying to the right account and that the account that has been given is the right account and not a fraudulent account. It can help them by repayments to make sure that they're paying to the right counterparty. It can help them to make sure that they are paying salaries to the right bank account holder, or verifying partners, that the partner is the partner that they're stating that they are. It's possible to give your customer their full overview of accounts across Europe, something that not many banks are even capable of doing today. It's possible to enable real-time liquidity planning and forecasting, helping treasurers to make decisions, or CEOs or CFOs to make decisions fast and when they need to make the decision, not by end of day when they get the liquidity forecasting report from their current system, having only data supplied by end of day. So it's moving from an end of day strategic choice on the longer term into, how is my situation right now? Do I need to do something about it? Should I do something today before end of day that will help me? Looking into the invoice matching and the reconciliations, helping customers to offer a solution that is traditionally only offered by banks. As an ERP, you have the access to the invoices, and with the access to also the transaction data, it's a product that you can offer your customers and to start competing with the banks on. Lending solutions. Do you also want to offer lending? As an ERP, you have the access to the invoices and you have the access to the transaction data with open banking, meaning you would get an even better overview of the customer than the banks would have by seeing both these perspectives. Factoring. Again, the ERPs are sitting on the invoices, and now they also get the transaction data. And I often put it in a very simplified form that if you have access to only the invoices, then you have a certain view. And you see a certain part of the reality of that customer. If you have the transaction data, you have another kind of view of the customer. But when you get both of them, your visibility window is suddenly absolutely amazing, and you get full information about your customer. FX services, also a service that is traditionally owned by banks, but with FX APIs, it's making it possible to offer FX services directly through your ERP system instead. And of course, on the anti-money laundering, when accountants are getting a bigger role in detecting money laundering, then they also need better tools. And again, by combining the transaction lists together with the invoicing data and the receipts, it's possible for ERPs to help their customers to protect them from fraud, to protect them from money laundering activities, and also to monitor the customers. And that is with the purpose of making the future of accounting smarter, safer, and most importantly, more compliant. So it's also moving a part of the responsibility in how you would want to de-risk in a way. Fraud detection. Seeing the account list, seeing the invoices, having the possibility to identify who is this payment going to? Who was this payment going to? And then, of course, payments. Getting the possibility to execute payments outside of the online net bank. And in the ultimate experience, potentially even making the online net bank redundant. unless the online net bank is getting additional functionality that is suiting the needs of the companies today. So that was a quick recap of what are the different topics that I would look deeper into if I was having my own ERP systems. What would I would look to with whom I could partner in these different spaces. And then I would look into with which of these would I want to build myself, and where would I want to combine different partners in order to make make it possible to get the full experience, or to create the full experience for my customers.
That's super I mean, eye-opening, and and don't you, I mean, feel that and that this is really changing the business model also, how ERPs and accounting firms, how they are able to kind of build value. And I think that's the most exciting, sort of like going back to your iPhone kind of parallel, that in a way it's not the actual phone, but it's actually what the world it opens up, kind of the door it opens up. It's sort of an endless opportunity of applications and business opportunities.
All the different apps that we're working with today that are providing us value in different ways and forms by getting access to different data points of ours. It's exactly the same story with the ERPs, getting access to new data points, and then what can we do with those data points to delight our customers?
Precisely, yeah. And I'm also looking forward to with excitement who you might be bringing with you as well to Nordic Fintech Summit in May. And you know, everybody that need to be there. Today is actually the last day to get the pre-ticket for the Nordic Fintech Summit, so make sure you don't miss that opportunity if you don't already have the ticket. But again, you've always brought with you super interesting cases, and I believe last time we were enjoying the SAS case, right?
And the pre-launch of the SAS case.
The pre-launch, precisely. So, but yeah, so super much looking forward to all the sort of the ecosystem around open banking, open finance that you always bring with you, your entourage.
I have a few ideas of whom I would want to bring along, and there's certainly potential in the ERP space with different companies that are doing really exciting solutions in this space, sometimes together with open banking, and of course also a bit outside open banking.
Exactly. And I'm looking at the clock here, and our 30-minute efficient Friday strategy talk, Fintech Strategy Talk, actually we've used up our time. Thank you, Sarah, so much. I mean, again, eye-opening, inspiring, and very much looking forward to the next case.
I look forward to coming back to hell.
Yeah. Road to hell once more. Great. Have a great sock rock day. Rock sock.
Rock the sock day.
Rock the sock day. What is it in Swedish?
Rocka sockorna.
Rocka sockorna.
There's even a song about it. Rocka sockorna.
Great. All right. So happy Rocka sockorna dag and Poets Day to everyone out there.
And happy Friday.
Happy Friday as well. Yeah. Great. See you again soon, Sarah.
See ya.
Thank you.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.